Dreaming Whilst Black was pilot initially, and then I done Riches, setting up the aesthetics, the tone. My dad got me a camera mostly to just document and just film all my friends and tell them what to do. I was directing just fun. That was probably me being familiar with camera out of having fun. I used to go to a place called Adlib. You'll catch people like Michaela Cole and Cynthia Erivo, A-Dot, Babatunde, Mo. A-Dot used to kill it all the time, and I used to watch A-Dot and I used to be like, this guy needs to be on TV. Why are these people not on TV? After doing Riches and Supacell, it's like they're leaning more towards drama. Dreaming was a comedy, so it was really fun to do and really fun to be on set.
How do you break into the creative industry? And how do our experiences shape our careers? Welcome to the podcast that asks the most influential creatives how they got the role that ultimately changed everything and what proactive tips others can adopt to get the picture. I'm your host, Kiosa Sukami, and this podcast series is brought to you by London Podcast Studios. This week, we sit down with Director Sebastian Thiel, whose creative journey began with a handheld camera in secondary school, capturing memories with friends in northwest London. Initially studying media without the intention of pursuing film, Sebastian's path was anything but linear, dropping out of college, spending a gap year focused on basketball, and designing a clothing brand before stepping into filmmaking. A string of self-funded short films laid the foundation, but illegal activity marked his first real production with a budget. His breakthrough came with Just a Couple, a web series that caught the attention of production company Big Talk and launched him into professional television. Since then, Sebastian's credits have grown to include the acclaimed TV series Riches for ITV, Netflix's Supacell, and most recently, Dreaming Whilst Black for the BBC. Thank you so much for coming to the studio today, Sebastian.
Thank you for having me, my G.
No problem.
Thank you.
How's your week been so far? I know we've been in the middle of a heat wave, but how are you finding your week so far?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. It's been challenging. I've had like family stuff going on, but it's been, other than that, it's been a blessed week.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're locking with the Dreaming Whilst Black edit at the moment, so yeah, it's nice to be near the end of that.
Amazing. Series 2. How's things looking at the moment? Can you give us a quick little insight before, of course, we get into it?
I think it's looking good, man.
Yeah.
Like, it feels that the aim of this season was to, elevate the show and visually. So elevate the show visually, and then lean into like a more cinematic feel, grounded comedy, and also just take all the things that we loved about season 1 and just take it to the next level. I feel like we've done that.
Amazing.
I feel like we've done that.
Yeah. Sounds good. I can't wait to get into speaking all about that. But before we get into, of course, talking about your work and all the things that you're smashing it at the moment, I would like to introduce the podcast a little bit for our audiences, but also have a moment to take it back before we get into your work to actually just find out who Sebastian is. The idea of Get the Picture is to invite filmmakers, writers, people working within the film, TV and media industry as a whole to come in, share their experiences, share their journey. Hopefully our audiences can take any lessons from that and apply it to their own careers or their own futures in general. So, as I mentioned, you are a writer, director, producer as well, who has been working in the industry for quite some time. But before we get into all of that, I would love to find out a little bit about Sebastian. So let's go all the way from the beginning and find out who is Sebastian. Let's start from the very, very, very top. Where were you born and where were you raised?
So I was born in Zambia, Luanshya. I came to London when I was 3 years old. When I was growing up, we lived in, the first area we lived in was around Golders Green, I think. And then we stayed in northwest London. So I grew up in like Edgware, Burnt Oak, Colindale, like around them sides. And I've just been floating around there ever since. So that's where I've grown up, northwest London. Yeah.
What was your family dynamic like? Did you have any siblings?
Yeah. So I've got a sibling, younger sister, Frida, and she is an actress. We've worked together a lot in different productions and stuff like that. She's also in the new Dreaming Whilst Black.
Amazing.
But it's quite funny that we're both in the film industry because it's not like our parents like grew us up trying to get us into these creative fields. We were both heavily into sports. Like, my sister was a very talented runner. I think she used to kind of sprint, and I used to do like long distance and like cross country, and then basketball was like my main thing, like sports. But and my family, my mom and dad aren't really in the creative. I shouldn't even say aren't really. They're not in the creative field at all. They're creative as individuals. Like my dad really loves music, can play instruments and all of that. And then I'm great at drawing, and my mom great at drawing and doing loads of things from cake decorating to cake decorating. Is that what you
That's
say?
quite
Yeah. Doing cakes to like balloons and all of these kind of creative things. So yeah.
Amazing. So what would you then say maybe that inspiration for you to then end up working in the arts? Obviously you mentioned that parents were creative in spirit, I guess, in heart, but they didn't do it for work professionally. So for you in your early childhood, what did you find yourself doing? What did you find yourself interested in? You said obviously playing sports maybe was that thing for you, but was there a point where you had a switch and you thought, okay, you know what, maybe sports isn't going to be the route for me? Or?
You know what? I think some of the earlier things, look, we used to have like I don't know if everyone had this here, but we used to have an off license in Deansbrook, and in that off license they used to rent videos.
Okay, I've never heard of that. Yeah.
See, to me, looking back, it was normal.
He's a very
but
good
now
businessman.
I'm like, was that normal? But it was like a Blockbusters within a video, within like a off license place.
Okay.
Like, but anyway, so when our family were like doing like little parties or things like that, I would go with my dad to when he went to the off license to get like drinks and things like that, and we would always get videos. So me and my sister always used to watch like movies and all of that. So I kind of think that played a little part into loving film and cinema. But then growing up in secondary school, I think as I said, I was heavily into sports. But my dad got me a camera in secondary school, but that camera was mostly to document me and my friends, like memories. My dad is really big on memories. He had a lot of friends pass like away, like when he was I guess quite young, or back home in Zambia. So I think that was quite big for him. And I used to just document and just film all my friends and tell them what to do. I was directing just fun, directing silly foolishness in the playground. But so from that, I think that was probably me being familiar with camera and just having out of having fun. And then after that, I went into college, done media studies, still didn't really want to do film. And then some opportunities in basketball fell through. Like I was meant to go to like high school and things like that. But there's a long story behind that. I don't know how long you have, but we can delve into that after this if you have any questions. But I went some opportunities fell through, and then disheartened by that, I took a gap year from college, and then I started to pursue graphic design, T-shirts. I used to do MySpace layouts and all of that. Like back then, I done MySpace layouts for some wild people. I done a MySpace layout for Raekwon from Wu-Tang.
Really?
Do you know how random that is?
How did he did you find your work online or something? Or
Nah, so my friend won a competition to be a support act for Method Man.
Even that is
and then I
well.
met them, and I was like, yo, like I'll do let me do a MySpace layout for you. And then I done that. And like I should do my strategy back then when I was young, which is genius. It's like I just used to go up to like I used to do all like famous people's stuff like free, and then just use that as a portfolio, and then it would just everyone else would be like, oh, he must be good if he's doing Raekwon's or someone else's, and that's what I'd done all the like from young, and I was able to build up.
That's amazing.
That. But yeah, so I went into doing videos to promote the T-shirts and promote my services, comedy sketches. I used to do stuff with A-Dot a lot.
Oh yes.
Some of those videos went viral on WorldStar, and then from there I was like, video is much more powerful than the graphic design stuff, and I pursued that.
Amazing. So I want to take it back a little bit there. Obviously, we talked about you wanting to initially pursue basketball and pursue sports. At that time for you, going into higher education, whether it's secondary school or even further, what was it about, I guess, sports? Was it just because you were naturally talented in it? And also, how did you, of course, feel when you kind of had to figure something else out, because I'm sure at that age, if your dream is to play basketball and you then kind of realize there's nothing you to do, you have to kind of go back and do some self-discovery almost.
Yeah, and the pivot, and you've got to pivot, pun intended. I love sports. I think there's something about the discipline about it. Like, I was one of those kids that used to like wake up at 5 a.m. and run before school, and then and do things like that. Or I would be at basketball training until like 11 p.m. on the school night, and then do my homework on the buses and things like that. Like, I was really like on it, like when it came to basketball. I think even in like school, in terms of grades, like that was the only reason I wanted to do well. Like, I started drinking alcohol really late because I didn't want to drink alcohol because of sports and stuff. I started drinking at like 27.
Oh wow.
So like it was just something that there was something I liked about the teamwork element, and then pushing myself. I just love, like, basketball puts me in flow state very easily. Like, when I'm playing ball, I could be doing it for hours. So I liked that. And then I think in terms of when things fell apart, it was really bad. Like, looking back, it was like we were all training. Me and a couple of other players were all training, and then when we got to the airport, so we were meant to go to a camp, and then from that camp we were meant to, people were meant to have opportunities and go to high school in America, right? We were just meant to get seen by some coaches at a camp. We got to the airport. There's me and like maybe like 5 other players, and then the sponsors pulled out whilst we were there.
What?
Like, I still, till this day, I'm not really clear what happened, but our coach was trying to sort it out, and then he said, go home today, and then we'll have it sorted tomorrow. I didn't want to go home because my mum would have been like this. What rubbish is this? You get what I mean? It's like, this is, it would have been a bit weird. So I stayed at my friend's house waiting for it to get sorted, and then see if we could go. Couldn't go, and then it became a thing of whoever could afford it went, and whoever didn't go. I was one of the people that couldn't afford it, so we tried to raise money through like Choice FM and all of this campaigning. Me and a couple of other players didn't make it, and then from that, things like that happened quite a lot here, and I got fed up, and I just started doing what was a hobby at the time, which was graphic design. And then my coach came back maybe about like half a year after, or a year, and he was like, we've got the opportunity up again, and if you want to go. And I was just like, give it to someone that wants it more than me right now. Like, I wasn't, I kind of tapped out. Like, I tried to take control over it by blanking it out. It probably wasn't the most healthy thing at the time, but sometimes, our coping mechanisms, they can help in some areas. So it might have helped me with like Upshot and like being really focused and doing the film stuff, but there was some things I wasn't processing that at that time. And this is just me as an adult looking back. Anyway, so some of the players went, and they done well. Like, Ovi was one of them.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Small world. Yeah.
Ovi, a few of my other friends, they went. Some went to, Ovi went to play in high school. All of that. Yeah. I don't know if it was necessarily through this exact connection, but he was one of the he was one of the people. So yeah, it was a real thing. It wasn't like, sometimes I tell the story and I'm like, people are like, this guy's short. I don't. Yeah. It probably wasn't real. No, it was a real opportunity. I would have been at least in a high school.
Yeah. Well, everything happens for a reason, isn't it? Or look what you're currently doing now. So who knows if the path had gone that way, how things would have turned out. But I want to bring it back, slightly now towards the gap year that you took when you were doing some of this work. As a creative or as an artist at that point, how was it for you maybe finding work? Were you getting paid to do something? You mentioned you did some of this MySpace work for free initially to then lead on to other work. How was it for you leaving your degree and then working as an artist and then basically like trying to find your way essentially.
Yeah. Is it a degree in college? You see, I never even finished. I done like 1 year. I don't even think I finished that year, and I came out.
Okay, yeah, you just dropped out.
I was like 17.
Yeah.
So I said it was a gap year at the time, but I just never returned.
I see.
But in terms of how it was, look, I'm very fortunate that my parents are really supportive in trusting the process or trusting me, like knowing that I'm not gonna like kind of like throw my like be useless or not do anything. They were like really trusted that I was figuring things out and going to do something. So then I started doing this the all these different random things, album covers and all of that. And as I said, my strategy, which I don't know where I got it from, but my strategy was always just to find really talented people or as close to famous people and just offer my services for free and just do it and then build that and then show people that and then people would want it. And that's what happened. So I used to do that for everything. And then I started doing T-shirts, which was inspired by Boy Better Know, because Boy Better Know used to do tees back in the day. I was like, oh, this is cool. We used to go to the same place they used to get their T-shirts done as well, in Edmonton. So it was like, yeah, I was able to generate some money, and I was still, living at home with my parents, and I was able to explore what entrepreneurship is, how to make things viral. We used to flyer out in like Oxford Street, like for the T-shirts and all of that, and it was good, like good exercise and good way to see how to build brands. And then through that process, I started to learn about grants and funding. And then I was like, yo, when I learned about funding, I was like, people are out here giving people free money. What? I was like, this is insane. Like, I couldn't believe it. As soon as I heard that, I was like applying everywhere. So I've done my first application, I think when I was around 18, and then I won maybe about £8,000. And then that's how I bought my camera. Nice. And like the DSLR and the backdrops and stuff. And then I won maybe another 2 after that. Like maybe every like year or 2 years, I won like 10,000 once and then 12,000. I was just like I was, I think there was a period of time where there was like, where this was happening. Maybe it's the same time where we used to have youth clubs. I don't know. It's like where they cared about the kids. Yeah. But it was stuff like that was just happening. I as soon as I heard about it, I was like, I am on it. And it was hard. I didn't have any, business expertise or anything like that, but I was able to do it. Like those competitions are really the reason why I think I was able to tap in, or I was able to get them without the experience I had, is because they were all around social entrepreneurship. Okay. And all about like vision and like changing the world and doing something positive. And I feel like those are things that I naturally lean towards. If it was just about numbers, oh my friend, my friend, I don't know. So we done that, and then that was how I was able to build slowly through the years. And then I went to a school called the School of Social Entrepreneurs, which it wasn't a school as like you get grades or anything like that, but it's a place where you go like maybe once or twice a week, and then they teach you about social entrepreneurship, and they do it through practical ways as well. So they'll bring like entrepreneurs, like we had people come in and then they'll tell their story, they'll talk about their life, and it was the rule that they made was like, don't ever ask questions that you can Google.
Okay.
So it was like about getting deep. It was about like family, how you manage this, how you manage stress, and those kind of things. So seeing that, learning that way when I was that age was really useful.
Amazing. So then you then bought your first camera, obviously, for you being very, very savvy, to be honest, and understanding that, look, I can enter this competition, enter these grants. I want to find out the period of time that came when you started making Upshot. You created that platform where you were creating you were making your own original content. And you mentioned that you did a series with A-Dot. Yeah. That was a really good period of time, I think, for the UK or London in general, of people that are making original content on YouTube. What was it that inspired you to then start to make the content? Was it just the fact that you bought this camera and you thought, okay, cool, now I have to actually start making stuff? Or what was the transition to then take the initiative to build a platform like that?
So like, look, when I was like 18, like I had like big dreams with Upshot, and that wasn't just down to me. It was down to also my business partners and friends who were around at the time. We're still good friends, but the vision was to create like a youth culture or youth subculture or something like that, right? A positive one. So to do that, we felt like we needed to go into all the areas, which is like clothing, music, film, all of that, and do content and make things that counter what we felt was like negative, right? So it was like positive, like in our eyes, that was a vision. So Upshot was at the time was a lot of things. It was clothing, t-shirts, graphics, all of this. It's just only as I became older, I just started to focus more in one area, which was film. Now, so I used to go to a place called Adlib, yeah, and Adlib was a live event kind of showcase of like comedians, music artists. You'll catch people like Michaela Cole and Cynthia Erivo, and everyone used to go there, whether it was open mic or, you know, sing. I think Kiosa used to go there as well back in the day. Like it was like an A-Dot, Babatunde, Mo might have came a bit later, to be honest. But anyway, so there was all these people there, and A-Dot was there, and A-Dot used to kill it all the time, and I used to watch A-Dot, and I used to be like, this guy needs to be on TV. Why are these people not on TV? And looking at all these comedians, and then I was just like, I think I just hit him up after a show. I was like, oh, let's like make some stuff, let's do something, and then that's how the collaboration started, like with him and Babatunde. I think the first thing we done was a sketch called with Babatunde. And that was with, A-Dot and Babatunde, and that's what kind of made me focus on that content. It was more so about like just seeing talent and feeling like they needed that they needed a place. I felt it was like injustice. I was like, why are you not doing any? Why is this stuff not there on TV?
Yeah.
So it was that, and then we just started making stuff, and I was learning on the fly. I didn't know necessarily, about shots and crossing the line and needing a sound man and doing this. I was just very naive and just shooting, and through that experience, I learned a lot.
Yeah, you had a couple of hits there. Not a lot of people know that the whole A-Dot's Apprentice, that you're behind that, all those little sketches that went viral back then. So I think it was, like I said, a good moment in time for being a creative in general in the UK. You then took that a bit further, isn't it? You then went to create a web series. Was that part of Upshot as well? Just a couple?
Yeah, so I done just a couple, and just a couple started with. If I go a little bit before that, just to kind of give you how it progressed, because it'll just give a little bit of context. Is when I was doing all those short sketches, I was learning on the fly, and I had a friend who was a producer, a little bit more experienced and older, and he was like, "Look, Seb, let's make a short film." Because I came to him with a concept, which was illegal activity.
Okay, so that came before.
Yeah, I came to him with a concept. That's a long time. That's only like 10 years, I think. But I came to him with that concept, and I was like, let's do a thing where, we mislead people and think that these young people are selling drugs, but they're selling books, and then it ends on this knowledge is power thing. And it was inspired by a quote from my friend. He used to say, if reading was illegal, man them would. So when he that inspired the concept, right? So anyway, I told this guy that, and then he was like, look, let's make it a short film. They started writing the script. I'll give them scenes and ideas. They wrote it, and then they surrounded me around a team, like DPs and sound man, and that was my first time to see that. Okay. Like, I had not worked in that environment. I was like, oh, okay, this is how it works. And I watched, and whilst I was in that process, I was watching how that process worked, and then I carried that myself. So then I started doing, A-Dot's Apprentice, Friday UK, with the same DP and with the knowledge that I learned from what they done with my short film. I was like, oh, so you need a team, you need to feed people, you need to, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then I took that, done my own stuff, and then just a couple came about because I was trying to practice. Just a couple came about because I was trying to get people to write for me, but everyone was lazy. Sometimes people wouldn't turn up and things like that. And it was like, okay, cool, guys, I'm trying to move. nothing happened. So I was like, I'm just gonna write it myself, and just a couple was me practicing really like how to write things. So I had done it as like a short, contained concept, something I can control. Only 2 people. It's about couples, and it's only like it's a quick sketch. It's in and out. I knew I could do that without too much stress, right? And a very small team. So I done that, done an episode, and then I done maybe like 4 or 5 episodes in one day.
In one day?
Yeah, because Michael was gonna go somewhere, like he was going away, and my sister was going away, and we wouldn't have been able to shoot for like 8 months or something.
Okay.
And I had the scripts, and no, I didn't even finish the scripts. I had them; they were half finished. And then because of that, because he got a role, I was like, let's just do it. And you see, this is why you need to move on things and just make things happen, because I'd done that, and I shot it by myself with them I used to rent a room, and then they had the sitting room downstairs. That's where we shot some bits in a car, shot some bits in different places, right? And then literally I put that out, never got tons of views, but someone saw it and they shared it with Big Talk. Okay. And then Big Talk kind of mentored me for like 2 months, 3 months, whilst trying to understand what I wanted to do with the concept. And then they pitched it to BBC, and BBC picked it up.
Amazing. Yeah. Just off the back of you, again, taking your own initiative. So how was that then? Were you, at this point then, did you think, okay, I can actually have now a career as a filmmaker, or what was going through your mind knowing that Big Talk are going to potentially help me produce this with the BBC?
Nah, so with Big Talk, it was really slow, because I think they were just trying to understand what I wanted to do and if I could do it, but also they were just helping me, man, like helping me. I remember one of the things Surab from Big Talk said, and he was like, look, that 10-minute sketch that you done could have been 2 minutes. And at the time I was like, what? Man, this shit's funny, man. Like, I was like, this is like why? But then through like learning, I was like, yeah, it's true, story, there's no story. Like in 10 minutes when we done the web series for BBC, like there's so much happens, like storytelling, right? With the sketch, the 10-minute sketch, you know, it's a couple that are arguing back and forth for 10 minutes, and it's funny, and we might watch it because it's funny, but as a story, there was no story. So like those kind of lessons, that's what they were kind of, I guess, teaching me as we were having our meetings periodically through the months. And then when we pitched, I wrote the scripts. This was the time where BBC Three thought they were going to be online forever, you know? Do you remember that time?
Yeah, I remember.
Where they were like, let's do everything on YouTube because everyone's going to watch everything on YouTube. And we... yeah. But I you know what? I shouldn't even knock that. Let me take it back, because I probably wouldn't be here. Like, I think that was just perfect timing. Like, I was involved in like the move of like I was in there at the right time when a lot of people were making content. You know, like Man on the Wall. Yeah. Myself. You know, you had Don't Jealous Me, and you had
Vujanic as well.
Hood documentary. Vujanic. Yeah, all of that. We were all, and you know, Jazzy and all that. It was that period, right? And I think so yeah, through that,
amazing,
I was able to enter the industry.
And then talking about the actual series itself, before we go over into discussing your other major works, I want to kind of talk about the work that you did with the BBC Three, the collaboration, I guess, for just a couple. How was that for you, working with terrestrial television, or I guess a network at the time?
Yeah, hard. First.
Yeah,
very hard. Yeah. How very hard, because I came from doing stuff whenever I wanted to do stuff, and I didn't have to speak to anyone. I didn't have to articulate any ideas. I could just go, ooh, I've got an idea. Yo, turn up, come to my house, let's do this. and then the actors will just do it, and I'll do it, and no one gets paid, but they get food and this and that, and then it goes up online 2 hours later and gets like 50,000 views and stuff like. Do you get, like, it was just
quick,
a process that was very much me being in control, and I think when you get into TV, you get into a machine, and it's a much more, I guess, collaborative machine. Like, it's, you know, everyone has a voice. Like, there's more money involved. There's more, which means there's more, you know, more people and approval processes and things that have to be done in a particular way. And I think for me, going into that was hard because it just wasn't how I was set up at the time, and then I just had to gradually learn. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, when I was shooting. Oh, actually, I remember when I first turned up, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to carry kit. I was like, yo, I just turned up on the set and I just see people like holding cameras and doing stuff. I was like, yo, this is
I can get used to this. Yeah,
this is mad. But I felt like not a diva, but I was like, what? You guys are in the trenches and I'm just here just chilling anyway. But that's how it felt. But there was an example of the difference is when I was on set and talking to the actors or shooting, you know, the producers will come sometimes and give me notes about what was happening. And for the first 2 days, I was so paranoid. I was so like overwhelmed and stressed because I thought they didn't trust me. But I didn't know that that's how it goes. I didn't know that producers talk to you and tell you stuff to do. TV especially is producer led, right? Producer and writer led, showrunner. But it's, you know, they didn't mean anything by it. I just felt like that because I thought I was just used to no one ever talking to me and me just doing what I wanted. So for the first few days, it was really stressful. And then I remember speaking to the DP who was really, really experienced, and he was like, "Seb, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yo, they don't trust me, and but I wrote this, and like, nah, man, like." And then I started thinking of all the stories people say when they're like, "Oh, the corporates are gonna mess up your stuff," and then I was like, and then he goes, "Seb, this is how it goes. Like, producers give you notes, and this is normal." I was like, "What? Really?" So then I think the next few days after that, I was like, literally, like, now I'm trying to embrace it and say, "Oh, so what do you think?" And like, "Oh, do you think?" Like, I was looking at it very differently, and it just changed the game for me. But that was like a small example, because when you get into TV, no one knows what you know. Like, and also they've been doing it so long that it's just how they do it. So they're not gonna know the gaps. Even when we were interviewing DPs at the very beginning, I didn't know that I was meant to prep stuff or things like that. I literally, because I thought they just need to pitch to me, and like I just wasn't used to articulating my vision. So I was really lucky at the time. I felt like I could have made just a couple 30 minutes. I was like, why are we doing 10 minutes? I could do 30. Like, but I'm so grateful that, like, now looking back, I think I had a good, like, slow kind of progression, because like, TV can be a big shock to the system.
I want to ask, at this stage when you were working on Just a Couple with the BBC, did you manage to get an agent with this, or were you still doing this on back of your own?
I done it in a cheeky way. I do this thing called Upshot reels, which is like working with actors doing monologue reels, and I've been doing it since like 2010. And it started off as a service for Femi Ogun's Identity Agency Group, and we used to just work closely with them, right? And I used to do it as a private service for them, with like Damson Idris, Letitia Wright, Melanie Liebert, Malachi Kirby, loads of different actors. The reels were used to help them get representation in the States. You know, like with Damson and Snowfall, that it played a part in that journey. So I had a good relationship with Femi, and when I still do have a good relationship with him, but I'm talking about the past. So when I got into Just a Couple, and he was my sister's agent. So when we got into Just a Couple, my sister was the lead. She was already having her deal done by Femi and Identity. And then I literally just said to Femi, I was like, "Yo, Femi, like, I know you don't rep literally talent, but like, could you close this deal and then we'll just see how it goes from there. And then yeah, he closed the deal, and then he was like, yeah, let's do it. But that was my intentions was to get him to be my agent, but I was like, yeah, let's just close the deal. But to be honest, you know, I tell people to do that a lot, you know, but some people just don't want to part their money. They're like, why should I give someone my money when they haven't even got me the job? I'm like, you don't have an agent, bro.
Exactly,
Just
yeah.
take the
Right, yeah.
it's tax, innit? Just do the thing. But that's how I got Femi, who was my agent through that, and Dreaming Whilst Black, and then I guess like for my journey, I needed more like a literary team, and then he just helped me source that, and now I'm with 42 in the UK, Cafe King. So,
Amazing. Before I ask my next question, but I want to find out which came first, which you did first. Sorry, was it Riches or Dreaming Whilst Black?
I done Dreaming Whilst Black. The reason why it seems the other way around is because Dreaming Whilst Black was a pilot initially.
Yes.
So I done that. I actually done that in 2020 or 21, and then I done Riches, and then Dreaming Whilst Black got commissioned as a season, and they re-released it.
Okay.
After Riches.
Interesting. So then,
so on my credits, it looks like Dreaming was after.
Yeah, I thought so. So now, I guess that
would have been crazy to go from. I think that's what people they probably might look at my credits and go, he done a 10-minute web series and then a 1-hour drama. Exactly, that must look crazy. People must be like, what the hell did this guy do in the shadows, bro? Nah,
so there's keep the chronological timeline correct. Then I guess then I will talk about the pilot itself. Then how did that come about? Did you met Ajani before that, or what was the initial connection there to land?
Yeah, it's funny because like with Ajani, I remember I was a big fan of the web series, and I went to their screening in Brixton. I loved it. I thought it was like a UK Atlanta type of tone, in its own way, of course. But then through just knowing Ajani, I remember I'd done a talk about just a couple. This is when I got my show on BBC, and I remember he was talking to me like about wanting to do some stuff on BBC. He's like, man, like the show's doing dope. I'm paraphrasing, and he was just like just talking about his aspirations about like, you know, getting it on BBC. And then I was like, bro, don't worry, man, it's gonna happen. Like this is too good. I was like, it's too good, it will happen, man. Just be patient, just chill, it's gonna happen. And then like lo and behold, like a few years later, you know, he got the season. And then when I went into when they were going into the pilot, I know that he was looking for different directors, and you know, regardless of if you know someone, when it gets into a lot of the time in TV, you know, you still have to go through interview process and stuff. So I done that, you know, met up with him, met up with the producers, met up with BBC. I think BBC actually put my name forward, because when you're, I guess, in the circle of like creating content for them already, it's nice to work with a name they know. So that was one of the reasons. And yeah, I pitched for it, and I'm really thankful that they saw my vision, because I didn't have work that was representative of what my vision was for the show. Like, and that's hard. It's hard to get jobs when you don't have work that looks like what you're doing. Like the industry is very risk averse.
Yeah.
Like they try and, you know, this person done that, okay, they can do this.
Yeah.
This person hasn't got this. It's like we're not gonna take a risk.
Yeah.
Like, and that happens throughout. And I think I've just been quite lucky in areas, because each show I've done is quite
very different.
Visually different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, Riches. Then, so did you use the pilot then as a step up to then to get onto Riches?
Yeah. I think like with Riches, there was a lot going on with that opened up the opportunity for me. My agent reps Abby, the writer, so she was very close to the ground of what happened, and I signed with my agent and booked Riches like within a week of being signed with her, which was like amazing, because it was on my birthday. I think I found out on my birthday. It was just like, it was really dope. But it was it was an intense interview process, like loads of different interviews, and I also, like they really liked my vision for it, but again, I wasn't used to articulating my vision as much as I think they needed. So Abby was like, Seb, like, go back and like just add more information, and then we can have another discussion or something. I can't remember how she worded it, but it was something like that. So then I started to work on a more extensive deck, and then from there I was like, oh, I get it, like you need to know everything. As I said, it was always in my head, and then I never used to say. So I think but it was based off of also what I'd done with Dreaming, so they know I can do it. It's just I just wasn't used to having to tell people all the time.
Yeah. So like, I'll quickly ask you then, that process of interviewing, for those of us obviously haven't gone through that process, what does that normally look like? You mentioned that you're having to create a deck, but is there anything that you can maybe give us a bit of an insight for people that may be coming up to that stage, or going to it in the future, so we be a bit more prepared for ourselves?
Yeah, so with Dreaming and with Riches, I was a pilot director, which means you're setting up the show, you're setting up the aesthetics, the tone, and all of that. And when you have, I guess, a meeting with the showrunners, writers, producers, you're telling them what you firstly, they'll probably ask you, what did you think about the script? I was going to do an American accent. I don't know why.
Probably going up to a lot
what
of them.
What do you think about the script? Anyway, they will probably ask you about that, and then you give your what you think and felt about it, and what maybe images strike up for you, and what tonally where you feel it sits. But what I would do now especially is do a deck that articulates my vision, like the camera movement, like the visual language of it, which would include camera movement, lighting, grade, how I would choose to use the camera. So like with Dreaming Whilst Black, it's very controlled, and then it's very considered, and then there'll be moments where we'd use handheld, but we'd use that specifically for things. And you kind of talk about the language and that you're creating. Maybe I'll even sometimes go into editing styles or choices. We might talk about lenses, filters, things, different things like that. Even in casting, wardrobe, locations, and within all of that, I would put references and looks and what world I'm trying to build.
Wow.
And then something I do now as well is playlists. So I like to do playlists as well.
That music playlist, so you know what's going to be incorporated. That's really cool. Yeah.
So it's like it's a lot of that. It's just giving people a real sense of like the tone of the world that you're setting up, and where you want to go with it. And then I just use loads of reference pictures, which everyone, Shot Deck is like amazing. So I'd use Shot Deck to kind of source different images sometimes, or maybe photography or Pinterest and things like that. So
I want to ask one more question on Riches before we then talk a little bit more about Dreaming Whilst Black. So with Riches, that was one of those shows that had a good mixture, or like a hybrid show where you had UK actors and US actors as that mixture of storylines as well. How was that for you working on a show that had those sort of elements? And maybe I want to ask about your experience working with actors on that, because I saw a lot of behind the scenes and a lot of content that came out of that, or you working with those actors. So I want to find out a little bit more about your process and
it was amazing, because I think Riches was like the first time where I guess I was working with stars and people that were really experienced and had worked on many sets before. And I think for me it was a real it gave me a lot of insight, and also in terms of like the budget and kit and how to run a floor is very different. It was very different to the a comedy budget, right? Like it's you just have more time, you have more kit, you have more things might take longer. So I think all of that was really new to me in a good way. But in terms of actors, I think what's kind of given me, because of these Upshot reels that I do and working closely with actors for years, it's that communication and that rapport that I can build with actors fairly quickly, I think, is something that has helped me. And a lot of actors like confidence because it's they want to know they're in safe hands and they want to know that they can trust someone, and trust your ideas and all of that. Once they trust you, they'll give you everything. But then when you start having actors judging their performance and like, oh man, they're giving me a wild note, I'm not going to do that and stuff, all of those kind of things is what you want to avoid. And I was aware of that because of the reels. So all of that just gives me more insight into working with different kinds of people, different levels of talent. So I just applied that and took it to that set, and I'm quite personable. So when when I'm on set, I work really closely with the actors. I don't sit in like the video village. I sit on like an Apple box next to the actors and next to the DP, and it's about like that interaction and energy. So yeah, there were some bits where I thought it might have been challenging working with like stars, and oh man, they might not they might be like, I'm not doing that. I was like thinking of the worst things, but it was cool. It was really cool. Like, and a lot of the times, a lot of the most experienced actors are actually the nicest. Like I've found, like the most collaborative and the nicest. Yeah.
That's really good to hear, and it's good to see that your experience in that was really positive, because it was a big show when it first was released.
Yeah.
It almost kind of hit us out of nowhere. Almost, we got kind of expecting it, so it was really good to see that you were behind that. Now, having done Riches, then big Netflix drama comes along, sci-fi drama, Supacell. Do you want to tell us a little bit about context, maybe background of landing that? Because obviously Netflix is a major streamer, and of course it was a big project. You did a lot of episodes on that one as well, so it will be good to discuss that as well.
Yeah, that was cool. That just came through like through my agent. I read the script and I was like, oh, this is dope. This is gonna be massive. Like I could just tell just from like the the tone, the story, and what Raps really knows how to bring things that will create a lot of energy or momentum into existence. He's good at that. And I think after I read the script, I then had a meeting with Netlflix and talked about my vision. It was just a meeting before meeting Raps, so I met up with them first, and then after I met up with Raps in person and the producer, and we literally just talked through the idea. He's very visual, so it wasn't. I mean, not visual. He's about energy. So in terms of doing an extensive deck, I actually never done one for Supacell.
Okay.
It was more about him getting into my head, or my vision vocally of like what I like about the script, the characters, what I'll do, what I saw, and we were just speaking about that, and I told him what my ideas were. And then after that, I think I had another meeting with like the other execs and things like that, and then I ended up securing a job. But it was there was like a pitching process, but just down to the nature of how Raps works, it wasn't really about creating a big extensive deck that is some of my decks are like 13, 15 pages or something like that. But
wow.
this one was, I think I'd done like maybe like 5. It was a bit more brief.
Yeah. So Ratman was that exec producer that you needed a bit earlier on in your career, isn't it? When you're just like in all the ideas in your head, rather than having to spew it all out on a deck for them to understand. It seems like that was an easier connection, and it worked better, I guess, for your workflow in that sense. I want to ask maybe about your process on that as well. It was a big budget series. There was a lot of VFX. There's a lot of things going on there. What was pre-production like for you leading up to that? Did you have any involvement in terms of like working with choosing cast, maybe, for example, and also, of course, did you have much time for like rehearsals and kind of working with them to get them to a certain level of performance?
Yeah, firstly, you never really get rehearsals in TV.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's just go.
Yeah, you don't. You rehearse on set. So, but you can carve out some rehearsal time, but it gets really technical with availability and this and that and time, and then you're doing recce's. It becomes intense. You just a lot of the times you just don't have the time to do that, right? But in terms of cast, yeah, I was definitely involved in like casting people, especially in my episodes. Me and Raps would talk about some of the people that he was already looking at casting, but he had a strong vision of what he wanted to do or already. But in our episodes, like 3, 4, 5 other episodes that I'd done, whoever appeared that was new or a day player, you know, people that come in and out, like Castillo, the ideas like that is like something, you know, my block would have strong involvement in, and then you'd still, you know, have the approvals of Raps and the execs and stuff. And then in terms of the process with prep, yeah, it was a long one. Like Supercell was a long job because of the nature of it, and the prep was intense. You know, loads of locations, loads of prep for action sequences and things like that, which were, you know, for me it was a first. Dealing with stunts, but I come from an editing background, so I think that really helped me know how know how things can be broken down. So we would work with people that would do a previs. So a previs, do you know what a previs is?
Yes, but just for our audiences as well.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like they would film the scene for us, and with the stunts included, and present that idea and say, okay, cool, this is one approach we could have, and then Raps would give notes of like, this is what we're trying to get from it, and then we'll work together with them to do that. Sometimes a brief can come before they do that, sometimes it can come after. It just depends on what is happening, and then we'd have storyboard artists as well for certain scenes that might not need as much technical help as like a previs. Like for example, we would have a previs of Andre's fight with the Hood Hunter outside, where he gets thrown up on the wall and they're fighting. So they would film something like that and show us. Whereas for Castillo, flying in the sky was more storyboard.
So I guess things that took a bit more imagination to kind of understand that required that previous, but things that were maybe slightly a little bit simpler, you could just storyboard. Is that correct?
I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. Sometimes, you know what, it is also down to preference, because I could have probably asked for that, but I think previses take long. They take longer to organize and arrange and all of that. So I think you got to pick your battles.
Yeah.
But that whole process was really fun and exciting, and working with, like, you know, guns for the first time, and those kind of action sequences. It was really, really cool experience. It was the first time where I was like, oh my gosh, this feels like you're making movies. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, you think of action being like what film is. It definitely felt like that. Yeah.
So now, of course, looking into the future, series 2, you've been invited to do Dreaming Whilst Black again. What was that like? What was that like for you? Obviously, being invited to be a lead director and actually be in charge of, I guess, building out this world. And was there any pressures of that, knowing how successful the first series had done?
Yeah, you know what? Going back to Dreaming Whilst Black was amazing because it's a comedy drama, and I miss doing comedy. Man. Like, I was doing, so after doing Riches and Supercell, it's like they're slightly, you know, darker tone shows. They're, you know, leaning more towards drama and all of that. But Dreaming was a comedy, so it was really fun to do, and really fun to be on set, and really fun to be in that space. Because what I tend to do is I watch a lot of comedies when I'm doing a comedy, and I kind of stay in that space. So it just feels like everything's a bit more up, yeah. And energy's a bit more, I guess, positive. But I think in terms of prep and managing the show, after doing Riches and Supacell, it felt much lighter as well, and slightly easier because it's a smaller show. Like the scale. Look, when you're doing like a high budget drama and a comedy, they both have challenges in different ways. But I think coming from a Netflix show, what you start missing is like, oh, wait, I can't have a techno crane.
You got spoiled, basically. Yeah,
you get spoiled. You'll be like, oh, I can't. You can't have certain kit, or things like that, or you might not have as much time, or there's loads of things that happen with that. But I come from doing stuff with nothing, so it's not really, that isn't a problem for me. But it was easier to break down the script because, instead of looking at one script that's 60 pages, you're looking at one script that's 30 pages, It's mainly performance based. It's not as technical in terms of like the actions and people going here and there and this and that. It's mainly about comedy, performance, energy exchange, that kind of stuff. So that is what I find, I guess, is where one of my strengths lie because of working with actors so much. So it was like it felt like nice to be back in that flow. It's slightly different flow of filmmaking, but the show's really exciting. It's I feel like the tone of it is gonna be reminiscent of the pilot, and we've got some exciting new cast in the season. And should be really fun. Really
great.
Fun, yeah. And I remember I saw the other day that it was on Disney Plus as well, which is pretty cool.
Yes, so he's flying around everywhere,
yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah, I remember I was going to LA and I was on like Virgin, and I was like just looking at comedy. I was like, this is dope. Dreaming was on there, so it's like it's really nice. I think like what Ajani and the team have done like with the scripts this time round as well is like they've just added a lot of layers and depth and subtext to it that I think a lot of filmmakers especially are gonna relate to, and of course it's got all the elements of what it's like being black in London as a creative filmmaker. So yeah.
Amazing. I can't wait to see it. I'm really excited for it. It's one of those shows that's definitely on my top 3 list to kind of shows to come check out next year.
Yeah.
All right, Sebastian. So this part of the podcast now is going to be a little bit of fun. We're going to play a little game. The aim of the game is to guess the sound purely from what's playing at the moment. So we're going to play 5 clips from films, TV shows that hopefully people should recognize. And just from the audio alone, you have to guess what it is. Yeah. So no pressure. The lowest score.
5.
Yeah, 5. The lowest score from last season was 1. So the bar is quite low. So
I don't really. I ain't out here watching TV like that.
No.
But
films, yeah.
Let's see.
Let's go. All right, the first clip, please.
We had to go.
Nobody gets hit. Easy. Hey! Look at me. Sure. Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain.
Oh, what is it called? Oh.
You see what I mean? You should know it, right?
Oh. Jeez, what's the name? Oh, that's gonna bug me. I know it. I obviously know it. Oh man, I have to say pass.
Oh man, you could have, maybe with half a point. You even said it, yeah. It's the pirate film, Captain Phillips. We'll give you half a point, I think. You did say the pirate film. You also the captain as well. The captain film.
Nah, don't give me
no sympathy point. All right, then.
Sympathy point.
Okay.
Let me just lose strongly. It's alright.
Okay, let's keep about that. The 0 out of 5
right.
for now.
I'm terrible with names and terrible with stuff, but let's go.
All right, second clip.
It's fun. It's all good.
Law is there to say I got to like it. No. All right. Don't you eat every day? Answer me
It's
when I told
fences.
you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah, it's fences. Okay. Hey, can't put it off your board. 1 out of 5.
I'm trying to revoke my black card.
There you go. Nice easy one there. Third clip, please.
Who goes there?
Well, I wasn't going to come out because what you're talking about is very strange and embarrassing, and I thought it would be awkward.
You should wash your hands, you dirty pig.
Oh, okay, cool. Sex education.
Sex education. I'm glad that last line came in there because I would have not got that either myself.
Yeah.
to be honest.
If I never got that would have been a wrap. Yeah.
Okay, 2 out of 5. So clip number 4, please.
Oh, Hannah.
Hey, get away from her.
No! What did you say?
Oh, Hannah means family. Family means nobody
Gets left behind.
Yeah.
Okay. It's giving animation. Okay. I am just gonna. It's gonna be a wild one. I don't think this is right. Shrek?
Fortunately not. No. It was Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, yeah. I would have.
You'd have never got that?
Nah.
So that was Stitch's voice. That he sounds like the gremlin from
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings.
it sounded like that Lord of the Rings thing, but then I was like, nah, it's definitely. I can tell from the score that it was animation.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched Lilo and Stitch.
Okay,
so,
fair.
So I thought Shrek because of the little horsey thing. I was like, but then I was like, nah.
Decent
Anyway,
guess.
okay,
All right. Then.
All right.
Final clip. You done pretty well, to be honest. Like I said, one was the lowest bar, so you got what, 3 out of 5 so far? 2 out of 5. Okay. Final clip. Let's hope we can make this 3 out of 5.
Alright, cool.
Anyway, like I was saying, shrimp is the fruit of the sea. You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it. There's shrimp kebabs, shrimp creole, shrimp gumbo, pan fried, deep fried, stir fried. There's pineapple shrimp, lemon shrimp, coconut shrimp, pepper shrimp.
Okay.
Soup, shrimp stew,
Okay.
shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes, shrimp burger.
Is it Forrest Gump?
Yes, it is Forrest
But,
Gump.
okay, you know why I was struggling? Because first, for some reason, if I got that wrong, that would have been wild.
Yeah. Well, you didn't do too bad. 3 out of 5.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. That was
Congratulations.
lovely. That was
Amazing.
lovely, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sebastian. It's been great to have you on the podcast. I think we learned a lot there, and it's been good to obviously understand your journey and obviously explore some of your work as well. If our audience want to connect with you, where can they find you? And of course, a last bit of advice as well, if you could share anything with our future writer directors as well that may be watching this episode.
Nice. Yeah, I'd say if you want to find me, I would say like socials is the best. If we go over Instagram, Sebastian Thiel, and then Dope Black Art and Upshot Reels. So those are 2 of my company pages as well. So yeah, so you can find me through that, and then through that you can look at other links and do your thing. But in terms of any sort of advice or for anyone coming up, or that if you resonate to the work that I've done, I would say that it's like focus on like doing what you love, and focus on putting your energy into things that you can commit to without any effort. Like I tend to lean towards, no, not even tend to, I always do work that I want to do and like doing, and that I can pour everything into it. Like I find it very hard to be involved in things that I don't feel passionate about. This is not like a 9 to 5 for me. I feel like why are we doing stuff if it's not stuff we want to do? It's like stuff we want to do. I don't know. It sounds so simple, but it's like I'm very okay to say no.
You don't have a fear of missing out, basically.
Yeah, like I'm okay to say no, I'm not gonna do this, and just have faith that it'll work out. Like, and always chasing what. There was some things that I said no to, and then Supacell came. But at the time, people would be like, why? There's something here right now, but I always kind of trust that there's something more aligned with what I'm doing, because I'm not in it for like a quick in and out. Like I'm trying to do stuff that speak to me and leave a impact.
That's really good advice there, because I think it's very easy to just say yes to the check or say yes to this project because it's got somebody attached to it. So I think our audiences would definitely.
And it's hard. It's hard, and it sounds like it's coming from a place of privilege, but trust me, it's not. It's not, because it's been it's been how I've navigated from where I've come from, and I know like I just have I have a lot of faith and confidence that things will things will work out. So I think that's the thing. It's not like, and you can't put it down to
Mindset,
energy. It's a mindset. It's like it's a blind faith and doing the best you can do and doing all the work you can do and then letting it land where it lands. You know. Yeah.
That was really great advice, and thank you so much again, Sebastian, for taking the time to come on the podcast. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
Yes, likewise. Thank you.
Amazing.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Thank you for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this content, then make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the official London Podcast Studios channel. If you want to join the creative community and find out how you can get the picture, then make sure to click the link in the description.